the biology of belief, when you believe something is possible, it shifts everything. And so it's okay that right now we're at a place where we might not have the erections that we want. Believing that you can get them back is where we're going to start. So you guys, you might even have a fear right now about getting started because you think that you're too far gone. You know, beginning any new challenge in life, any major change, it can be scary. You know, I get that. And so this might seem crazy that you're actually getting help with your ED. But doesn't that just show how strong you really are? I mean, only the strongest people can ask for help. And the fact that you're here right now, it says a lot about you. But that doesn't mean that you don't have fears, right? So moving forward, you know, how do we handle fear? People generally fear three things, okay? The fear of loss, the fear of hardship or the process of fear, or of moving forward, or they fear the outcome. What's life going to look like afterwards? And so with the fear of loss, you know, people, they fear of losing something that we care about. You know, it's not necessarily a physical fear. It's more like a mentality. You know, I was worried about losing the everyday understanding of my world. And so let's just call that what it is. You know, I was afraid of losing my comfort zone. You know, my current way of life. I was afraid of that. But it's crazy because people, you know, and myself included, we'll fight for our comfort zones and then not take any actions on what would really enhance our lives. When we get rid of our ED, our lives change. And we don't exactly know what it's going to look like. And that uncertainty is scary. And so how do we handle this fear of loss? We handle the fear of loss by shifting our focus to what we gain. You know, instead of watching the wake of the boat to see where our future lies, we're going to shift our focus to the future and say, what do we want to create in our lives? This completely changes your perspective, obviously. And so the first assignment that I'm going to ask you guys to do is I want you to stack up two lists. The first list is the pros of getting your ED taken care of. And of course, on the second list, I want you to write out the cons of getting rid of ED. Okay? You don't have to do this right this second, but this is an assignment that I want you to do because, you know, it's no secret that when you reverse your ED, your life will look different. But by seeing both sides of the coin, you're going to be able to see the real value and the real weight that each side holds. Okay? This is a powerful exercise. Because right now, you're placing a lot of value on the things that are the cons. You know, when we raise up to the major leagues of happiness, you're going to start to see things from a new vantage point, like I said. And I'm not saying that all those things are bad, right? But this is a phase of life that we're in. And when we rise to the next level, you know, the blinders, they get taken off and you start to see things differently. It's just what happens. And so let's focus on the pros right now, okay? Like having a functional penis again, that's great. You know, so we start to work with the chemicals that are in our bodies that fuel us to live better lives again. We find more motivation to crush work, to crush our dating lives, or maybe to begin dating in the first place, okay? Some of the pros that actually happened to me, and I'm actually going to, I'm going to share my screen with you guys here so you guys can just see these. Nice. So some of the pros that happened to me were that I learned how to enjoy my life again, right? I was in a dark place. Everyone around me thought I was okay, but you know how that is on the inside. It's not fun. Showing up as my full authentic self. So many times I got into conversations with guys where I defaulted into the beta. You know, I didn't want to cause ripples. I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to make conflict. And that's not necessarily who I am anyways, but I wasn't showing up as my full authentic self. And it was a horrible place to live my life from. Stepping into my masculinity again, or maybe even for the first time, I don't really know if I was ever truly masculine, but when I learned how to take control of my erectile function, of what to avoid to make them worse and what to do to make them better and start to improve on that. My masculinity up leveled, and that's an amazing feeling too. Learning how to last long enough to give women amazing experiences in the bedroom. This was huge. I'm not saying that I'm a stallion who can go all night right now, and we're gonna get into some reasons why that's not even a really good thing, but I was not able to last long enough at all to make a woman happy, and that played havoc on my own emotions too. The anxiety of going into another encounter where I know that I'm not gonna be able to make her satisfied. So learning this has been a huge, huge blessing in my life. Learning how to destroy my anxiety in the bedroom, right? That's kind of prepared with the last one. But for a long time, I would go into the bedroom knowing that I couldn't perform. And then even after I started to improve, the anxiety was still there. That thought process, that pattern was still connected. And it wasn't a healthy place to do anything. To go into a bedroom scared, it's so much different than when you walk in there and you know what's about to go down. Setting up new habits in my life that help me create my ideal version of myself. You guys, this is never ending, but actually sitting down and writing these out and understanding that when I do these habits, I'm happier, I'm healthier, I have more drive, more commitment to my own life. And that in itself is sexy to women, and other men see that and they actually give you respect more. But when you're just floating in the wind like dust and you'll blow this way because the wind blows that way, you'll blow this way because the wind blows that way, that's no way to live life. And so when I started to create my ideal version of myself, it's like living your life on purpose. You've heard that phrase before, but it's true. When you can actually harness that energy and start to live your life on purpose, nothing can stop you. Building up my self-confidence and confidence in my ability to push through pain. You guys, I'll tell you, recording these modules isn't necessarily my strong point, but I'm pushing through the pain. Putting myself out on Facebook so that people could see me as the erection coach, that's not easy. That brings me a little bit of discomfort right now because I'm stepping into this space. It's new. I don't know what to expect on the other side. But I have confidence in my ability to push through this pain so that I can help guys like you and hopefully a lot more. And if you don't think that's a skill set that you have to develop, then I got another thing coming for you. Because it's like when you start, you hit barriers. And then you overcome those barriers, and then you keep going, and then you hit more barriers. And then you keep going, and then you hit more barriers, and you overcome them. But if you never start, if you never get going, then that very first barrier would stop you, right? Or you won't even get started, so you don't even see the barrier and you stay stuck where you're at. Taking action and having confidence in yourself, even if you fail, you're learning, right? There is no failure, there's only feedback. That's one of our tenets of success. And we're gonna dive into that even deeper here soon. Confidence that I will never settle for anything less than I'm worth ever again. You guys, that's been a story of my past where I didn't have the self-worth to say what I wanted. And as a result, I got everything but what I wanted. It was the universe teaching me some valuable lessons, okay? But now I have confidence that I'm not gonna settle ever again.